Oh, we're going to have a good show today. Be on in just a minute. Call the neighbors, wake the kids. Yes, Laura Loomer will be here. She confronted Hillary Clinton. And, Hillary was not happy. That's coming up in just a minute. By the way, check in. We're going to be going live in a minute. And when we do, make sure you check in. All right, we've got Grace checking in. How you doing, Grace? Good to see you. Ian is an Ohio deplorable. Georgia checking in. Georgia is from Tennessee. Hi, Georgia. Dean checking in from Texas and more. We'll get started here. Missouri's where Bonnie is. New York City's where Jose is. Jamie in Asheboro, North Carolina. Bonnie's in Missouri. Jim is checking in. Cheryl's checking in from Minnesota. And a whole bunch more. All right, it is how you doing? My name is Rusty Humphries, and welcome. We've got an exciting, lots going on today. And I've got new graphics. How about that? Is that cool or what? Got to turn those off. Okay, a lot going on today. In coming up in a couple of minutes, the mayor of Seattle had to resign today because the fifth allegation of childhood sex. It's nasty. We'll get into that coming up a little bit. But right now, I've known this woman for a while. She's very cool. She is becoming very quickly, an internet sensation and an internet star. Her name is Laura Loomer. Laura, welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Okay, so who are you working with now?
I work for The Rebel. The Rebel TV.
Okay, and I mean, was it a year ago that I met you at a conference and you were an assistant to James O'Keefe, and now in less than a year you've done 2, 3, 4 things that have gone viral already.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing undercover work with James O'Keefe, but I was also doing communications work with him as well. But a lot of people just couldn't put a face to the work I was doing during my time at Project Veritas. Many of the videos which were viral themselves just because of the undercover nature of the work. Well,
it's very cool. Okay, today you kind of got yourself into a little trouble. You pushed it today. Now, to remind folks one of the things that you did. Well, let's tell folks some of the things that you've been known for. Like you did some. What did you do for James O'Keefe? The one that got you really noticed first. It was with college, right?
The video I did in college was my senior year of college. I created an ISIS club to basically prove how absurd political correctness was on college campuses. So, I said that I wanted to create an ISIS club and asked my university to assist me in creating the club and to approve it. And they did. And it was viral and it caused a lot of controversy. And then, shortly after that, I started doing, full-time undercover investigative work in the Hillary Clinton campaign. And a lot of the videos were viral, I'd say, but people just didn't know that it was me.
Right.
One of the more viral videos that my face was actually shown in was on election day when I put on a burqa and I got the ballot for Huma Abedin. So I've had interactions with Huma and Hillary many times before. Donald Trump actually retweeted one of my investigations during my time at Project Veritas, in which I confronted Huma at a private fundraiser in New York City. And she basically told me that Hillary was going to let in every single Syrian refugee, regardless of their situation, because we can't put anyone, we can't leave anyone behind.
Okay, so then earlier this year, the thing that you got a lot of attention for was that play in New York City where, go ahead and tell that story.
So I was just appalled with all of the political violence that was being promoted and celebrated by the left and, the mainstream media. So I crashed the stage of Julius Caesar, in the park here in New York City, in Central Park, the play in which they were trying to glamorize really assassination porn of President Trump.
Yep.
And it blew up. I mean, I wasn't really expecting it to be as big as it was, but it definitely made me an internet sensation overnight.
And you got arrested that night. Are you still in trouble with the law with that?
I was arrested. I actually went to court and I don't have issues anymore.
Okay.
Basically, they gave me 1 day of community service, and they told me that as long as I stay out of trouble for 6 months, the charges will be dropped, which means I can't get arrested.
How many months ago? How many months ago was that? Yeah, how many months ago was that?
My court date, or
no, when they said your 6-month clock started.
That started on August 14th.
Well, you did it again today.
Yes, but I didn't get arrested, so.
You almost, I mean, you could have, huh?
I almost got arrested,
yeah.
but I didn't.
All right, let's tell the story of what happened, and then I'll play it for everybody. Tell me what happened.
Well, as you know, Hillary Clinton decided that she wanted to tell people what happened. I mean, what happened during the 2016 campaign and why she lost to Donald Trump. And I don't know who's advising her, but she foolishly decided to have a book signing event and tour. She kicked it off here in New York City today. And I decided to show up and ask her what happened. I wanted to ask her questions that the media refused to ask her during the campaign trail, things that the American people really needed to know. So I waited outside and in line for 8 hours today.
Oh, my
Hillary
gosh.
showed up late. It was brutal. It was so hot. I felt so dehydrated to get my copy of what happened signed by Hillary Clinton.
And okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's play the clip. And when did this happen? This is earlier today, right?
This was earlier today around 3 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay. This is Laura Loomer.
Even though I had been there since 8 o'clock in the morning.
And what time? Okay.
7:30 or so. Right.
And where was this? I'm guessing like a Barnes & Noble or something?
This was at the Barnes & Noble in Union Square, the same place where all of the Clintons have their book signing events. I mean, just a month and a half ago, I confronted Chelsea Clinton at the same Barnes & Noble.
Is that right? All right, let's play the clip. Here's what happened with Laura Loomer today.
Hi, it's so great to see you.
Well, it's great for you to be here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. So the American people would really like to know what happened to your 33,000 emails. What happened in Benghazi?
Go read the book.
What happened to the millions of dollars that was supposed to go to the people in Haiti?
You know what? I'm so sorry you believe things that are untrue.
What happened to Seth Rich?
Right. Nice.
What happened to your health, Hillary?
So they... The audio is not as loud as I'd like here, but so you're going to. I want my book. You're looking around.
Huma, it's so great to see you.
And there's Huma.
I have a question for you. When are you going to divorce your husband for texting underage girls?
Oh man!
We're gonna step out of here.
I don't need my book. I paid for a book.
Step out of here. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Can I have my book?
Okay, so that was Laura Loomer. Laura, no offense, but you got some very large huevos, my dear.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So for the audio didn't come through as quite as loudly as I would have liked it to. So you asked her about the emails. You asked her about what other things you asked her about?
I said, "Hey, Hillary, nice to see you." And she shook my hand, and I said, "So the American people really want to know what happened to your 33,000 emails." And then she laughed and told me to read her book. And then I said, "What happened in Benghazi? What happened to the millions of dollars in aid that was supposed to go to the Haitians that you used to pay for your daughter's wedding dress? What happened to Seth Rich? What happened to your health?" And she just laughed and told me I need to read her book and that it was unfortunate that I believe fake news stories. But,
Wow.
these are not fake news stories. These are things that Hillary Clinton, just because of her own position and power and corruption and, really her connections to deep state globalists, she's been able to avoid jail time for crimes that if any other person had committed, they'd be serving a lot of time for. So
now, tell me about I've heard most of those stories, and I've heard a little bit about Haiti and how little money went to Haiti from the Clinton Foundation. But what is that story? You're telling me that some of the money that was supposed to go to Haiti went to Chelsea's dress?
Yeah, a lot of people, two people who come to mind specifically, Dinesh D'Souza, who has, done incredible research and has written incredible books about Hillary and her fraud and her lies and her corruption, as well as Peter Schweitzer, who wrote the book Clinton Cash. And in Clinton Cash and just in his writings, Peter Schweitzer provides all of the sources and all of the research that proves that they misdirected and misused funds that were supposed to go to impoverished individuals in Haiti. And a lot of that money that was, donated to the foundation was actually documented as being used to pay for Chelsea Clinton's wedding dress.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Now, you were there a long time. You've had some medical issues recently, so that was hard for you. I mean, it wasn't like you just, it was a walk in the park for you to stand in line that long.
Yeah, I did have surgery 2 weeks ago, and I just had my cast taken off yesterday. And so I'm still very sore and swollen, and it was very difficult actually for me to stand in the sun for 8 hours. I really wasn't supposed to do that. My doctor would probably be very upset with me if he found out that I did that. And it caused a lot of pain. There was a point where I was kind of kneeling over because I was in so much physical pain from standing and not having anything to drink. And I'm supposed to be drinking more water, especially after my surgery. And I can only imagine how other people felt, because there were older people there were disabled people, there were people who were injured. And I'm an able-bodied 24-year-old woman, and there were people there who were a lot older than me and, a lot less in shape, or like I said, disabled people, and they were just left out in the sun. And when people were asking for water, they were like, "Oh, sorry, you're going to have to go buy water." Well, how am I supposed to buy water when you confiscated all of my belongings?
Oh, they did?
They confiscated everybody's bags. So when you went inside, you had to turn your bag over in order to get in line because they didn't want people bringing bags in. They tried to control this to prevent what I did as much as possible. I mean, they were trying to prevent a crisis from happening today, but they failed. And they were doing that by preventing people from bringing their bags in. They were telling people to not use their cell phones or bring their cell phones near Hillary Clinton. No pictures were allowed. But look, I don't care. Now, I come from the Project Veritas James O'Keefe School of undercover, secret recording. So nobody can tell me not to record because I will always find a way.
Laura Loomer is here. Again, the name of the website you're at is what?
The Rebel.
The Rebel.com?
The Rebel Media, yeah.
Rebel Media.
Rebel Media.
Was everybody excited? For a lot of Democrats, meeting Hillary Clinton, that's almost like meeting Jesus, because they don't have, government's the new religion, right?
Right. Yeah, no, that's the thing, is I was sitting there and I was trying to, build rapport with the people I was in line with, because, you kind of have to say something to someone who you're standing next to for 8 hours in the sun. Right. And so we became friendly, and some of these people were just talking about her like she was a goddess. And here I am laughing on the inside thinking, oh, my God, I'm being so nice to these people, and they're about to watch me wreck Hillary Clinton. And, here they are, actually excited to read and buy this book. And it was the biggest waste of $25 I've ever spent in my life, because I didn't even get my book.
What?
I was escorted out by Secret Service after I confronted Huma Abedin over her husband's likings for minors and his sexual interactions with teenage girls, and they refused to give me my book, and they told me they were going to call the police if I didn't leave the premise.
Oh my gosh. Now, I thought they did get a divorce, didn't they? Or they're working on it, or no?
No. So she said that she was filing for divorce right after the Daily Mail published that piece about him sending pictures of his,
junk.
His junk, if that's what you want to call it, to a 15-year-old girl who he knew was 15 years old. So gross. Yeah. And then what happened is, right after the investigation for Hillary was opened again, because, this happened, his sexting to a minor occurred during the election. And this was probably October, I think it happened. I think it happened in October. So a month before the election, Hillary Clinton's freaking out. They take his laptop, and then they find that he was using a laptop that Huma Abedin was using to send classified information on. So then Weiner was directly implicated in this case regarding classified information. And, if Huma were to have really divorced him, they would have had to testify against each other. Oh. And they both know they're guilty. They're both guilty at the end of the day for, him with his sexting to minors, and her with her, messy handling of classified information and cover up for Hillary Clinton and her crimes. And what's the best way to not have to testify against someone? You can't testify against your own spouse, so you stay married. And that's how disgusting these people are, is they would literally rather raise their child under the same roof as a pedophile husband and not divorce them than pay some time in the slammer for their crimes.
Now, Laura Loomer is here, and again, she's going viral. Your career has taken off. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I met Hillary Clinton one time. I actually met Chelsea, Bill, and Hillary at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Israel. In
Bethlehem. Yeah, you told me this story when we were in Arizona. This was funny.
And what I find now, I want to see if you felt the same thing. When I met Chelsea, she was a very nice, sweet girl. I met Bill, couldn't have been more charming. And then there was this dark cloud of ew around Hillary. Did you feel that?
So I've met all of them as well. I've met Bill a couple of times.
Oh,
I've met Hillary.
I bet you have.
Times.
I bet you met him a few times. How you doing, baby? No.
Yeah, I know. His book is going to be called "You Know What Happened." We already know what happened, Bill.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've met them multiple times, and yeah, like Chelsea comes across as, you know, dainty and nice and sweet, but don't be fooled. I mean, she's just her mother reincarnated. And Hillary said the other day that she's not going to run for office. Well, who do you think is, right? Who's going to carry on this Clinton legacy?
Okay.
It's Chelsea. So don't be fooled. But Bill, yeah, he's very charming, and he has this way of, you know, captivating you and making you kind of like him. It's very strange. And it's just his personality, but he's also friendly. He's genuinely friendly when he talks to people.
Right.
He's not forcing it like Hillary. She just has an inability to relate to people, and she's just fake.
Did you feel it was I felt creepy around her. Did you feel that?
I always felt that way. I mean, like I've said, this is probably my 5th time having like a face-to-face interaction with her, and which is why I'm shocked she didn't recognize me.
She will from now on.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she will. But I couldn't really smell the sulfur. Like I said, I'm recovering from my surgery. So I don't know, like people said she smells like sulfur. I don't know, like I have, you know, my nose is still not where it needs to be. So.
All right. Laura.
But I'm really glad I didn't smell it, because I wouldn't want to smell her if she smelled like sulfur.
Yeah. Well, I'm very glad you didn't get arrested, especially if I'm surprised. I mean, were you not scared if they said, hey, you had 6 months, don't get in trouble, and you went and did it anyway? I mean,
I was getting a little nervous, actually. I have to admit, I was a little nervous when they were detaining me, because I was thinking, am I going to get arrested for this? And I thought, oh my God, like now I'm going to be a criminal because, well, not really a criminal, like a misdemeanor for trespassing. Who cares? I mean, I don't care.
But they might trump up charges because they love the Clintons, right?
Right, exactly. And so then I was thinking, okay, what's going to happen? And the funniest part about this whole situation was they thought I was somebody else. So there's a guy, you know, Pharma Bro, Martin Shkreli, right?
No.
You know the guy who, what's the best way? Everybody knows who he is if they saw him. You know the guy who received a lot of negative media attention because he jacked the price up for
that one drug.
That one drug,
yes.
Like what was it, an HIV medication? I think
yes.
And he said, oh, well, whatever, it's like the free market, I can do what I want. And people were going crazy. So Martin Shkreli the other day posted that he was going to offer $5,000 to anybody who could provide him with a lock of Hillary Clinton's hair. I think because they want to do hair testing to see if she really is sick, because you can tell from a person's hair whether or not they're ill. I don't know the whole backstory, but I think that this is what it's about.
Okay.
And so Hillary Clinton literally thought somebody was going to chop a piece of her hair out, so she hired extra security in the Secret Service to protect her. So they were asking me, you know, the reason why we detained you is because we received reports that somebody was trying to cut her hair off. Is that you? Like, you know something about that? And I said, no. And I started laughing because I knew exactly what they were talking about. And they asked me if I knew what they were talking about. And you're not supposed to lie to the Secret Service. So I said, yeah, I know what you're talking about. So then that made it even worse, of course.
But you had no intention.
To convince the Secret Service that I wasn't a serial killer. And they were like, are you on drugs because you're shaking? And I was like, if you had to wait in 90-degree weather without drinking any water or eating any food and stand on your feet for 8 hours, you'd be shaking too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sorry, but my hands were definitely shaking because I felt extremely dehydrated. So eventually they let me go, and they told me that I wasn't allowed to come back that day or else I'd be arrested. And
you weren't planning on coming back anyway, right?
I mean, I wanted to get my book, but I did pay $25 for it.
Well, I think you got $25 worth of media coverage out of it, don't you think?
Yeah, I did, but still, I mean, I kind of want my signed copy. I waited 8 hours for it.
That's true. You could sell that on eBay for $27.
Yeah. I mean, it's 30% off in stores now, so probably less than that. But.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, Laura, you've done it again. Be careful, please. Don't get yourself arrested. I mean,
yes, just so you all know, I am not suicidal, and I do not work out by myself, and I don't like to take evening dives in the Potomac River. So,
is that what somebody said, you were suicidal?
No, I'm just saying, people who do things to the Clintons and expose them tend to end up,
yes, okay,
committing suicide. So I'm just letting you know in case something happens.
Now, are you one of the people think that Seth Rich is on that Clinton hit list?
Yeah, I believe that there is evidence, especially with a lot of the things that like Julian Assange and WikiLeaks has released, that suggests that somebody high up in the Democratic Party, especially the DNC, put a hit job on Seth Rich. And I think that Hillary probably knows about it. And a lot of people don't want to talk about this because it makes them uncomfortable. But I think it's a conversation we need to have. And I think it's fair game. I mean, I asked her what happened. That's the title of her book. And, I gave her an opportunity to answer my question, and she didn't. Right, but a lot of people want to know what happened to Seth Rich.
Right. Okay, wow. Laura Loomer, it is, as always, a pleasure. I think you got big huevos, bigger than most guys I know, and keep doing it. Just don't get yourself in trouble. We love you.
I'm trying.
Okay, you're fine. You're not suicidal. You're doing great, and if anything happens to you, you didn't do it yourself.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Give us the website one more time. Where can we find you?
The Rebel Media, and then you can also, just follow and subscribe Rebel Media on YouTube, and follow them on Twitter at the Rebel TV, and you can also follow me on Twitter at Laura Loomer.
All right, Laura,
that's the best place to find my work.
All right, you rock. It's always a pleasure.
You.
Thanks for being on the show. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Bye. She's awesome, isn't she, Laura Loomer? Great job. Thank you. All right, we'll talk to you again soon. Bye. Okay. What do you think of that? Now again? I'm gonna play the video for people who are just joining us. I'm gonna try to play it again, and maybe with her not there, you might be able to hear it a little bit better. Laura Loomer, if you're just joining us, that was Laura Loomer. And she went and saw Hillary Clinton at a bookstore, a book signing today, and really, really hammered Hillary. And Hillary kind of played it off and laughed and ha, isn't that funny? But, I mean, these are tough. These are the hard-hitting questions that actually journalists should be asking, but don't. So I'm going to play it for you one more time in case you missed it. And then I would like to hear, first of all, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to share this video, first of all. People need to see what Laura Loomer said to Hillary Clinton, what Hillary Clinton's response was, or lack of response. If you would please share this video right now. Let people know. Give us some thumbs up. Give us some hearts. Give us some support for Laura Loomer. Also, if you've got questions, your thought. Do you think Laura went too far? Or do you think this is the kind of journalism we need to see? So let's play the video. Please get interactive right now if you would. Aileen says, great show, Rusty. Laura rocks. Let's see, Paul. Kim says, putting an angel around you for your safety. Pamela says, love Laura Loomer. Jerry says, greetings, Laura. You're a great patriot. We Americans do care. The FBI, Mr. FBI, about releasing those emails. Laura, along with you and many others, we will hold people accountable. I sent an email to my congressman on Labor Day, and they acknowledged they received it. Rusty, along with other talk show hosts, please start a petition with others and let Washington know that we Americans do care. What do you say? I say I agree with you. All right, let's play the clip here one more time in case you missed it. And if you would please share this video, let people know the truth is being told right here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion, on Right Wing News, on my podcast, on these great Facebook pages that are carrying it, people sharing it all around. Please let people know this is where the truth is being told every night, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West. Let's play the video here.
Secretary, nice to meet you finally. Thank you. That's a role model and inspiration for us. Thank you. It means
a lot to me. Thank you so much. Hi.
Hi, it's so great to see you.
Well, it's great for you to be here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Oh.
So the American people would really like to know what happened to your 33,000 emails. What happened in Benghazi?
Go read the book.
What happened to the millions of dollars that was supposed to go to the people in Haiti?
You know what? I'm so sorry you believe things that are untrue.
What happened to Seth Rich?
Hi, nice to
What
see
happened to
you.
your health, Hillary?
You're just going to move to the end of the line with your...
Thanks.
Keep your receipts out.
Tuma.
30 seconds. Keep moving to the end of the line.
Oh.
I just got an email.
Huma, it's so great to see you. I have a question for you. When are you going to divorce your husband for texting underage
We're
girls?
going to step out of here. Get out. We're going to step out of here.
I need to have my book. I paid for a
We're going to
book.
step out of here. Thank you, ma'am. We're
Okay.
going to step out.
Can I have my book? Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll just go get my book downstairs.
What? Let me
Oh,
look at this man.
thanks.
Didn't give her her book.
I'm going right now. Oh, around here?
All right, would you do that? Would you do that? I got to be honest. I mean, again, Laura Loomer, if you're just joining us, that's the same woman that stood up in the middle of the Shakespeare play, Julius Caesar, where they were making the Julius Caesar look like Donald Trump, and they were murdering him. You know, it was assassination porn. And she's the one that stood up and said, "This is wrong. This is wrong." And she got arrested for that. And they told her, "You got 6 months to not cause trouble again." And that was like a month ago. And she went and did it again. Holy moly. Jim says, notice when she said Seth Rich that the Secret Service stepped in? Good point. Kaylin says, hey, Rusty, just shared the video. Thank you. I appreciate that. Pamela says, Laura rocks. Brian checking in. Thank you, Brian. Pamela says, that book is toilet paper. Another Pamela says, good job, Laura. And he says, she's a badass. Oh, yes, she is. Ah, that's funny. Linda says, yeah, we want answers, Hillary. Cher says, horrible crime to display. Laura Loomer, true patriot. Kane says she's got balls of steel. All right, so go and support Laura Loomer if you would. She is awesome and a good person. By the way, today's Rusty Humphries Rebellion is being brought to you by our good friends at Wax RX. And if you're like me and get earwax occasionally, do yourself a favor, would you? And that is buy this great product. You go to waxrx.com. In fact, I've got one right here. And it is a ear wash system that is the way you can clean your ears at home with a system just like your doctor uses. And there's 3 uses in here, and you can see all the stuff that it has in it. And you'll save a lot of money. It's very easy. I used it last weekend, and it works great. It really is a wonderful product if you've got earwax issues. I hate it. And it's also, you don't want to mess with your ears. You know, I love hearing. I'm sure you do too. And so you don't want something that doesn't work or it could damage you. You know, jamming Q-tips in there can really be damaging. So get yourself Wax RX. It is available at waxrx.com, and it's awesome. So if you would please do that, get that product, and do yourself a favor. I really appreciate that. Tanya shared the video. Thank you, Tanya. By the way, if you are listening to us on the podcast, you can find the podcast, The Rusty Humphries Rebellion, on iTunes and on Stitcher and Google Play and iHeartRadio, any place there's great podcasts. We have become one of the most listened to conservative podcasts in the world, thanks to you. The rankings of Apple come out, every few hours, and we are constantly in the top echelons of political podcasts. And most of the podcasts are liberal with any kind of ratings because liberals don't have talk radio to listen to. And I mean, they got NPR, but that's about it. But We are way up at the very top. Thank you very much for your support and listening to the Rusty Humphries Rebellion or watching it here on Facebook or wherever else we get it out there. All I'm trying to do is get the truth out on a daily basis, cover the news, stuff that you may or may not have seen throughout the day, and make sure that that you get the truth. That's it. Like, here's a story that's true. I grew up in Seattle. And Seattle is, I still consider one of my hometowns. I love Seattle, but it has turned into a cesspool. Today, Seattle Mayor Ed Murray resigns after 5th child sex abuse allegations. It took 5 sex abuse allegations, 5 of them, before they got him to resign. Holy, 5? Seattle Mayor Ed Murray resigned today, Tuesday, just hours after new allegations that he had sexually abused a younger cousin decades ago. Murray, a former Democratic state legislator elected to mayor 2013, said in a statement he is resigning effective 5 p.m. Wednesday. So he just resigned an hour and a half ago. While the allegations against me are not true, it is important that my personal issues do not affect the ability of our city government to conduct the public's business, Murray said in a statement. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. City Council, Council Member Kashama Swant. She is the communist, by the way. She is really a communist, and she's proud of being a communist. Says, unfortunately, the majority of the city council failed to show any such leadership. She was mad that they didn't kick him out sooner. And you know what? I got to agree with her on that. Commie or not, she was right. Murray's resignation came shortly after the Seattle Times, a paper I was a paper boy for many years. Murray's resignation came shortly after the Seattle Times reported this morning by Murray's cousin, Joseph Dyer, 54, who has become the 5th man to publicly accuse Murray of sexual abuse. Dyer says he was 13 when Murray forced him into sex when the two shared a bedroom at Dyer's mother's home in Medford, New York in the 1970s. His mother said, "We are very glad to hear that he's resigned. We hope it helps others in some ways." The mayor says, "I didn't do it. I ain't know nothing. I didn't do it." Another, he said, it's we don't like it. I ain't done nothing. It wasn't my fault. It was because that side of the family don't like me. That was his excuse. I ain't know nothing. Another accuser, Jeff Simpson, former son of Murray, claims Murray began abusing him at age 13. Said of the resignation, "I couldn't believe it. I was like, you know what? God is good. When you're doing the right thing and don't quit before the miracle, God takes care of stuff. It's just on his time." Simpson met Murray while growing up in Portland group home for troubled children in the late 1970s. He tried to bring attention to his allegation in 2008 when Murray was in the legislature, but his account was never publicly reported. Now here's something I'm going to ask you. And that is, it was the mid-70s. I mean, we're talking 40 years ago, 35 years ago. Is that, I mean, statute of limitations? I mean, do you say, it was a long time ago, forget about it. Forget about it. I personally am glad he's gone, and I think it's sick, and I don't think there should ever be a statute of limitations for child abuse. But I'm curious. I'd like to know your thoughts. Please comment here. Let's see here. Kay says, cut it off. Cheryl says, gee, I wonder why that side of the family didn't like him. Brian says, rather sad set of morals there. Pig. Mayor Murray, you're a sick SOB. Myrna just hopped on. Hey, Myrna, how you doing? Thank you. Kaylin says it's been 35 years, Rusty. Thank you. I appreciate that. My math skills on the fly, not that great. I'll be the first to admit it. Speaking of Seattle, again, my hometown. The last time I lived in Seattle was probably 2000. 2002, 2003. It was, you know what? I remember that when I started there, that's when Reagan passed away. And it was after 9/11. I was working at a local station, KVI. And there was a big story. They wanted to have these permanent tent cities, is what they called them. Tent cities. These permanent homeless places where people could be homeless and they would all live together, and it would be peace and love and harmony, and they'd have tents, and the homeless people could just live together and be just so happy. And the liberals were all for it. And I remember going, are you guys idiots? It's not that I have no compassion, because I do. But when you make it easier for criminals like illegal immigrants or homeless people, when you make it easier and you give them more and more goodies, they will congregate there. They will show up. And no one in Seattle wanted to hear it. No, Rusty, you don't know what you're talking about. You ain't know nothing. Well, it appears that I was right, because the same time the mayor is resigning from office for his fifth allegation of child sex abuse, it looks like they are kicking out homeless camp in downtown Seattle. And this is right by the stadiums where the Seahawks and the Mariners play. This is walking distance from there. So here's what happened earlier today in Seattle.
And good Tuesday morning to you. I'm Alex Rozier on Spokane Street here in Seattle, where a homeless move-out is going to be taking place any minute here. I want to give you a look behind me. You can see that police tape is now up at the Spokane Street, under the Spokane Street Viaduct. Again, this is where a move-out will be taking place. City officials and the police department are out here already. They are beginning to take the first steps at cleaning out this area. Now, this decision comes after a few weeks of what they call some outreach that they've been working on, public personalized outreach, where they've been going tent to tent, talking with people about their options. There was a shooting on Spokane Street a few weeks back. And because of that and other issues, they say health and safety concerns, they've decided to move these folks out of here.
What?
And provide them
Hold
with
on
some
a
different
second.
options.
A shooting? What? A shooting at a homeless encampment? Wait a second. I thought these were just nothing but wonderful folk. Just loving folks down on their luck. Listen, there's a lot. I certainly have heart, and I feel bad for people that have had a rough life. I do. But what has happened is this is where people with major drug problems have hung out and congregated, where drugs and lots of illegal activity, crime, filth, it's awful what is happening in these places in Seattle. And finally, again, I told them not to do this in 2002, 2003, and we're at 2017 now. And by the way, is it just a coincidence it's on the day that the mayor got accused of his fifth child sex abuse case? Maybe he was hoping, just maybe, that people would be paying attention to that instead of this. But here's more of this story. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I just find this fascinating. Let me ask you, do you think that this is wrong? Do you think this is heartless to clean out the tent city? Or do you agree, finally, with the city of Seattle of cleaning this mess out?
Joining me now, Travis.
Yes.
Travis is with us. He is out here with a group of folks who are protesting this sweep. Tell me a little bit about why you're out here this morning and why you oppose this decision.
Yeah, we're standing in solidarity with our neighbors who live here, because for the most part, when you talk to folks out here, they are making their best choice. This is the most stable option they have. And there's community out here, there's organization, there's safety for them in that. Meanwhile, there are many barriers for a lot of folks to enter shelter. We don't have a lot of diverse shelter options. So for the police and the city to kick folks out of here, they're exacerbating the problem, really, because there's nowhere for these folks to go. Move along to where you go to. I've been to camps several times since January. You talk to anyone and they've all, most people have been at other camps.
Okay, this guy, let me tell you the truth now. Okay, and then we'll get back to Mr. Snowflake and what he has to say. I don't talk about this very often. It's a little embarrassing, but he's gotten better. So my stepbrother, who's 4 years older than me to the day, we have the same birthday, was a homeless guy in Seattle. 10 years? About 10 years, maybe. He had a lot of drug and alcohol problems. He's doing better now. But there was a time, I remember asking him, right around the time when he was homeless, he was kind of cleaning up. There was kind of a pattern where he would clean himself up and then go back and clean himself up and go back and whatever. And I said, hey, bro, I mean, what's it like? I mean, how do you live on the street? And he said, well, it's not so bad. By the way, it's an excellent impression of my brother, just between you and me. It's not so bad. What you do is they have some friends, and everybody kind of hangs out together, and if somebody gets money, we kind of all share it, and we get, some drink or something. And then we go to one shelter in the morning for food. And then we kind of walk around for the afternoon. There's another shelter where you get, lunch. And then there's this one place that's got foosball tables and stuff. And then, you go there for dinner. And then, if it's not too hot, you kind of go outside. Or if it's too hot or cold, you get another shelter and stuff. And it's really not that bad. And then if you really, if this is your lifestyle, and yes, he said it was his lifestyle. If it's your lifestyle, what you do is you go to places, where it's warmer in the wintertime. So he would go to places like Reno or Southern California. And like in Reno, they were very proud of the fact that they got the casinos to give their buffet food, the leftover buffet food, to the homeless people. Well, what did that do? Encourage tons of homeless. Hey, free buffets, free food. And instead of encouraging people to clean your act up, and yes, don't get me wrong, there are some very sick human beings, mental issues, they're talking to themselves, and it's horrible. But we also are, for a lot of people, aren't doing anything to help them. Allowing a tent city is not something that's helping. It's not. And anyway, let's watch just another minute of this. And again, do you think I'm heartless? Go ahead and comment here. I'm curious on your thought here. I'm going to play just another minute of this video.
That video right now of this camp here on Spokane Street. This is going to be their focus today from 2nd to Colorado. There was also a protest that you were just looking at taking place across the street. Travis is a member of that organization. And I see that some folks have actually positioned themselves on the opposite side of the police tape. What is the statement that they're trying to make right now?
That they stand in solidarity with our houseless neighbors, that these police evictions of homeless encampments are
right, solidarity
not the answer.
He's used now. He's used twice. That is a communist term. That's a word that communists use a lot. We stand in solidarity, used in unions a lot. It's a very socialist term.
Exacerbate the problem. So we need a solution to the crisis in this city, and that is more deeply affordable housing. And we need to get working on that as soon as possible, and in the meantime, greatly diversify our shelter options, and in a hurry.
Boy, he's using, this guy's using every single liberal catchphrase he can. Solidarity, diversity, he's throwing them all out there. I wasn't writing them down, but there was a couple other ones. Okay, so he wants very reasonable places to live. And that's fair. Seattle is not a cheap place. So are you going to help build something downtown, or you expect everybody in Seattle to pay for it? And then if you pay for it, by the way, Seattle is one of the first places where they passed legal marijuana. Good thinking. So what are you going to do with all the drugs? You gonna just let drugs go crazy in those that affordable housing? Drugs, prostitution, crime, just gonna let that happen? I mean, he's not thinking. He's just using the liberal, what feels good catchphrases.
Not a safe place. It's not a healthy place for them to be. There was a shooting here a couple weeks ago. What's your response to that?
Well, my response to that is if you come out here, you see a community that works with each other, that provides safety for each other, and they, taking them out of this is going to only traumatize them and destabilize them.
Okay, so because you hear what he's saying, basically these are very stupid people to him. They're there to be pitied because they're not as good as him. This is a community. And this community, they help each other, and there's safety here. Are you frigging kidding me? Do you not see what kind of squalor and filth is there? The drugs, you might as well just better watch out for the needles. I mean, again, I'm not trying to sound heartless. I'm not. But this guy is just, he's blind and dangerous. This kind of thinking, it sounds good, it feels good, but it is dangerous. It's stinking thinking.
More, which makes things worse for everyone in the city, really, not just the folks living here.
Well, Travis, if you'd stand by with me just for a second here, I want to kind of walk you through the scene that you're looking at. Krista, if you would just kind of go directly across the street, I think that's what you're seeing here, the search and rescue with the Union Gospel Mission. There are outreach workers that are on scene. There's also the Seattle Police Department. Just moments ago, we watched the police put up this tape surrounding this area. Now, this move-out's going to be taking place over the next 4 days. They've got it broken up by zone, and what they're going to target first in this closure is going to be the most where the most people are. And as you can see, if they are going to be cleaning up and moving out this area, they have a big task in front of them today, because there are an awful lot of people who call this place home under the Spokane Street Viaduct.
And trash.
Now, moving forward.
Hold on. Did you see that? He's got a needle container. Look at this. Hold on. Let me take it back. The guy, this thing in the red, I'm going to play it. Watch it. I'm going to turn the volume down. But watch, he's got a dirty needle container. That's what that is right there. I mean, these guys they're shooting up heroin. I mean, it's an AIDS breeding factory. I mean, come on, guys. They cannot be this stupid. They can't. Okay. What else is going on out there? Oh, I'm going to change subjects. So Kid Rock wants to run for the United States Senate, and what happens? They're going to protest Kid Rock now and his concerts because, well, he's got a conservative point of view. What's going on in Detroit? This happened a little bit earlier today.
They're going to march from here to Little Caesars Arena, which is just down the block here, about 6 blocks down. And they're supposed to be met with a counter-protest that's going to be going on. You hear them kind of gathering the people together. They're going to say a final prayer before they walk. We have about a crowd of, I'm going to guess, anywhere from 75 to 100 that have gathered here.
75 to 100. And I will bet dollars to donuts. Hold on a second. Crowd protesting Kid Rock performance in Detroit. I will bet dollars to donuts that guy with the microphone is getting paid by either a government organization or a nonprofit organization that gets its money from government dollars. Because the last thing they want, it's not about Kid Rock, it's not about doing what's best for the country, it's about cutting off that government money. And that is unacceptable. Let's take a listen here.
Down the road, they are going to be met with a group, according to police, is biker group, and they are going to be pro Kid Rock. These people are, of course, speaking out at the fact that Kid Rock is opening the new Little Caesars Arena tonight, saying that he does not embody the Detroit that they know and love, the one that they live in and see every day.
I'm sorry, he doesn't embody the Detroit that they know and love? You mean the one that's filled with crime, the one that has had no Republicans in leadership, certainly as a mayor, in generations? That's the Detroit that they know and love? They want to keep that? That's what they want? Crime, drugs, bankruptcy? What was it, Kwame Mfume? stealing money from the people of Detroit for his own sick benefit, former mayor of Detroit. I mean, that's what they're fighting for. See, that's the problem. That is what they're fighting for. They want to keep the real people down as low as they can so they can get as much government money as they can to line their own pockets, and it is sick. And that's why we need a guy like Kid Rock. I mean, we got to go to, we can't even get honest politicians anymore. So we got to go to rock stars and TV and business moguls. And you know what? If that's what we got to do, so be it.
Because of his use of the Confederate flag in the past. But they say even aside from that, they just don't think that he has the values and virtues that they would like to see represented. So they've got a permit here. They've planned this protest for quite some time and had a back and forth between Kid Rock online and one of the organizers, Sam Riddle, kind of been calling each other out in this regard. So there is some tension that is definitely mounting here. Police are definitely aware with that. We were talking with the deputy chief just moments ago, telling us that he plans to keep everybody safe and keep everyone a good distance away. He doesn't want these two to be on a collision course. So we'll see what happens as we kind of take this march with them. And you're welcome to come along with us as we'll be streaming this online and then giving a report at 6 o'clock on TV as well. So here we go. We're about to walk across.
When the Spirit says, but we're also going to love when the Spirit says, thank you very much. I love you.
Okay. Yeah, you love your government money is what you love. You love your control of other people. That's what you love. Shame on you. Shame, 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 shame. Jose says, Kid Rock rocks. He already told these douchebag protesters to take a bleeping hike. Kid Rock lives in Detroit. He pays horrendous taxes in Detroit. Kid Rock's roots are in Michigan, but they don't want change. Glenn says Kid Rock just needs to do it. If not, Ted Nugent needs to do it. I think Ted's living in Texas, though. Go Kid Rock. Love Kid Rock. That's the real America. Do these imbecile protesters ever work? We all know how to disperse this crowd. Pass out a job application. So many are impressed by their performance of rebellion that they have forgotten their purpose. Jerry says the politicians for many years have created this type of culture where we, the taxpayer, will give you free stuff through several government programs. I'm all for helping the ones that have an impairment. First, these people have to help themselves and want to work at any given job. The military's always hiring. It's about self-discipline and responsibility. We Americans cannot make their decisions for them. And I'll add one other thing to that, Jerry, and that is we all have tough times, too. And sometimes work is hard to come by, especially during that Obama administration, that Obama economy that we're starting to come out of. And I do believe that we should be able to help out good, hardworking, legal Americans if they're having a hard time. Not forever. A few months, a year maybe. Helping them get back into the workforce so they can pay the taxes again. They'll pay us all back. I'm okay with that. What I don't like is these generations of people that just keep living off you and me. People coming in from other countries illegally and us giving it to them. That's where it's not good for anybody. It's not good for the people that are getting the help, the assistance, because it's no longer help. It's keeping them down. So they'll vote for the Democrat Party. All right. Anything else? Did the homeless camp? Do you care about the new iPhone? I love iPhones. This one does not appeal to me. I'll be honest. I'll play a little clip of, there's a little video of what the new iPhone does. Now I do want to clear up, there is fake news out there. They're saying this iPhone is going to be $1,000. That is not true. It's going to be $999. So I want to make sure that we have the truth out here. But here is the latest iPhone. Just came out today.
Apple's phone of the future is the iPhone 10. It's going to cost $999 when it comes out November 3rd, and it is one of 3 iPhones that Apple has launched here at the new Apple Park. It's all screen, 5.8 inches, and it looks almost bezel-less. There is a little bit of a bezel, and at the top, much like the Essential phone, a camera notch. It also supports wireless Qi charging. There are 2 cameras on the back that are enhanced for AR, but what's new with the 10 is the ability to have a front-facing camera called True Depth that can do a variety of things. Animate emoji if you want with your face. Demonstrated here, it can do face mapping and be able to recognize muscle movements more accurately than the front-facing camera that exists on other iPhones. But it also can do more. There's Face ID, which replaces Touch ID, which is going to unlock the iPhone supposedly more accurately and securely, and that's part of the new interface with the iPhone 10 that will no longer have a home button. That's right, you're going to have to navigate the iPhone 10 using gestures. You'll have to swipe up to be able to go to different apps, or swipe down for Control Center. An emoji and also a new Snapchat app are 2 of the things that take advantage of the new front-facing camera for AR. And here's Face ID in action. Swiping up, right after looking at it, activates it on a test demo. Now, how many people will use Face ID and like it, and how many people will find it comfortable over Touch ID remains to be seen.
Okay, now I got to be honest, and that's what I don't like, okay? I'm not sure that I like this whole face recognition thing. Why? I don't know that I like us getting comfortable with stuff like that. You know, I mean, what could go wrong? A lot of things. And I'm not trying to be paranoid. I'm just saying, and I'm very Apple centric here. Let's see here. Can I sign on? Let you see how Apple-centric I am? I could do it through my iPhone, but I got to hurry here. I mean, there's... I got a lot of Apple stuff going on. I do. Remote camera mode. Come on. Well, see, it's not working today. My software just upgraded. I was going to show you my phone, and then... Can't do it. Can't do it. Sorry. Down. Pamela says, I don't need a phone that's that complicated. You know what? I'm a tech guy. I love that. I love all the toys. I do. I'll admit it. I'm the first one to admit it. Why can't I get a remote camera mode all of a sudden? Anyway, I love the tech. I do. I always get the new iPhone. This one, there's some cool things, and I like the way the camera looks, but it looks a little spendy to me. And I'm not sure that I like the face recognition stuff. But that's me. That's me. Jamie has a dinosaur phone. Martin thinks that Samsung is the best. Aileen does not like Apple products. Someone says, I've got no problem helping my brother in need as long as he is a legal citizen who is truly in need of help temporarily. Yeah, I agree with that. That I agree with. Okay, I want to thank you for listening. Will you please do me a favor? Will you please like and share this show? Like and share. Like and share, like and share, like and share. Chick-a-bowl, like and share. If you would like and share, I would like it if you'd like it and shared it. Also, if you would support our great sponsors, today's program was brought to you by our good friends at WaxRx. Want to clean out those ears? WaxRx.com. That's where you go to get the good stuff. Also, if you've got some pain, Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream and Back Pain Relief Cream is awesome, awesome stuff. It really works. You just rub this incredible cream on your body where it hurts, whether it's your back or where arthritis is, and you'll feel better. It just works. It's that simple. It doesn't burn. It doesn't smell. It's not greasy, and it just does what it says it will do. 100% money back guarantee. If you don't like it, don't worry. They'll give you your money back. Send that empty jar back in. You'll get your money back. You won't do that because it actually works. That's Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream, available at Walmart, Walgreens, and other great retailers. So is DerMend. If you are a seasoned citizen and you've got itchy skin, dry skin, and you've tried everything, maybe the doctor's giving you some medicine, try this if you would please. DerMend Mature Skin Solutions. It is steroid-free. It's Dermatologists recommend it, and it actually will make you feel better. It actually works. Also available at Walmart, Walgreens, and other great retailers. Also, I've got a podcast, and it's called The Rusty Humphries Rebellion. And you can find that podcast at iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play, any place great podcasts are. You can find it there, and I think you'll enjoy it. Another great podcast is Blunt Force Truth. It's a great show. They do a really good job. It's hosted by Chuck Woolery. You remember him from the game shows. Awesome guy. Really smart, very nice, very cool, and one of the most brilliant men I know. A guy named Mark Young. They host this show, and again, it's a podcast. It's free. It doesn't cost anything, and you can find it at iTunes and Stitcher and other great retailers. Also, we want to thank our good friends at Right Wing News. Thank you guys so much for powering the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. And also, if you would do me a favor, if you'd go to find my Facebook page, just type in my name, Rusty Humphries, and you can find it. You can find it at Facebook. Just type in Rusty Humphries, or talk to Rusty. You find me. It's a picture of me in a blue shirt. And would you please like my page? I'd really appreciate it. You can also find my website. It's rustylive.com. And my book's out there. I won't push it today. That's it, though. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you. I appreciate you for being here. And we're here every night, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West, and 24/7 on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. And if you missed the beginning of this video, it'll replay right here on this page, and go check it out if you would, please. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. My name is Rusty Humphries. May God bless you. May God bless America. This is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Bye-bye. See you later. See you tomorrow.